What's happening, everybody? Oh, woke up this morning. There's a video, dumbed down law, about Wes Watson and his civil lawsuit. Seems as the lawyers are asking for all his tax records, financial statements, money spent, what he owns. See, this is what happens when you get yourself involved in a lawsuit. When you got all the money and you should be smart enough just to walk away. When you got all the money and you should be smart enough not to invite people into a fight. Especially on social media, the one thing you don't want to do is tell people where you are. But Wes Watson, what kind of bird can't fly? The jailbird. Well, he ain't flying right now, and he ain't driving no Bugattis, no Ferraris, no nothing. Ain't even living in his house, in this mansion he owns, or supposedly owns, which we'll find out here pretty soon, when that goes to court. We'll find out if he owned the mansion, rented the mansion. We'll find out if he owned the cars or rented the cars. Either way, the man was successful. He was making money. He had a good message, but he didn't even follow his own message. And then it all turns out that he was scamming folks. So many people said they have conversation. The guy's just yelling at him, hanging up on him. Call back, short conversation, hang up on them. And then wouldn't take their phone calls. And these people are paying him thousands of dollars for coaching. Coaching to coach, teaching to coach. Which is, I don't know, there's so many genuine coaches, fitness coaches out there that can teach you what you want to know. Now, you want to be a coach, then there's schools out there that you can go to learn to be a fitness coach. You can do nutrition, everything you need to know to be able to teach people, and you can coach people to be a coach. But this guy wasn't even a certified fitness coach. But he promised you that he would help you set up, I guess, your website, your app, everything you needed to be an online coach. Well, now I've seen some of his cronies come out. And there ain't no way I would have any of the ones that I've seen through Instagram, YouTube, whatever, that's putting out videos. I wouldn't let them coach my dog on how to go outside and piss on a tree. These dudes just want to yell, scream, use a bunch of language, call you fat, call you pathetic. That does not motivate people anymore. It just doesn't. Now, you think showing off the cars, the big house, oh, I want to be like that. What people didn't realize is what you were charging them is what was paying for all that, Wes Watson. And there's an old saying about a fool and his money. Obviously, this guy was a fool and didn't know what to do with money. You let that go to your head. That's your problem, man. You could have done so much good in this world with that money. But instead, you did bad. That old karma, that thing comes around, and when it comes around and smacks you pretty damn hard in the face. Now, I don't know the guy personally. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's some kind of bad guy or whatever else. Obviously, maybe depends on, what you believe. I mean, there was a recording of him supposedly beating up his girlfriend. Allegedly. And allegedly, people watched. Some of his cronies sat there and watched this happen. If that's the case, they need their ass beat. Seriously. But when you run that kind of lifestyle that they were running, the money, the drinking, the out the partying, sooner or later that's going to be the result. Your girl's going one place, you're not invited, or you go somewhere else, and you're living the nightlife, the party life. Usually don't end up well for anybody. But you can't feel sorry for the guy, man. You had it all. You had it all. And you messed it up. You know, you had the money. You could have invested the money. Stayed away from the cars. Why do you need a car that costs millions of dollars? Other than you just showing off. Like I said, a fool will part with his money. Now this fool's in jail. They're going to take all his financial records so they know how much money it takes to sting you, to prove a point, to prove a lesson. Florida don't play, man. If y'all don't listen to J.D. DeLay and he tells you how Florida is, they don't play. I know you may say California's got the worst prisons. And that may be true. It's quite possibly that the prison system in California is worse than Florida. But guess what? Everything in California is worse than Florida, including the taxes. But I get it. You moved to Florida because of the taxes. You don't want to pay California taxes. Nobody does, right? But now you got to put all your tax records out there. How much money you've earned, how much money you spent, where you spent it, how much did you write off? The one thing that is worse than the police is the IRS, brother. So in this lawsuit, with all the financial stuff that has to come up and get talked about, that will come out because they're gonna subpoena all of it. You're gonna have the IRS looking at you too, bro. And they play even less than the police. You owe them, they're coming to get it. Without a doubt, they are coming to get their money. But old Wes is going to be in jail for a while, so it may not even matter. He's trying to stay relevant by making videos, phone call videos from jail. And I'm sure I've seen these before because I do every once in a while do some work in the prison system. They have these little tablet things and you can buy minutes on. I doubt he has a phone. But I don't know. Phones in prison they're more valuable than drugs. Because I work with some people that work in the prison system all the time, including, maintenance managers and people like that. And they tell me phones, that's the item. That is the item in jail. They get smuggled in, they get caught, more people smuggle more phones in, you buy more phones. Well, I even heard about a guy that was charging your phone. He had the charging cable and would sell you had to purchase him charging your phone for you. And had it hidden in the wall. Yes, had it electricity hidden in the wall coming from his little heater. In the cell. Plastered inside the wall so no one could find it until it was found. Now, where he messed up is the same thing. Gluttony, right? Too much stuff in his locker. They come find your locker. You got too much stuff in there. You've traded out for charging time. They take it, come back, find a bunch of crap in your locker again, so they know you got to be selling or trading something, right? So if you ain't trading the booty, what are you trading? What are you selling? Has to be something. Now don't get me wrong. Everybody says, "Oh, you get straightened out in jail or whatever." They figure out ways to get drugs in the jails. They figure out ways to make their own alcohol. Don't worry, it's there. But you work so hard, you sit in jail, which we don't know how long he was in jail, anywhere from 7 to 10 years originally. I guess he was in prison, so he says. You work so hard to get yourself out, to get yourself straightened out. You make your money and you fall back into the trap, man. You didn't like tattoos. Nobody should get tattooed on their face. Now you got a tattoo on your face. No, my head's tattooed. I just like the message from the beginning to the message to now is just wrong. It's wrong. And people are, they always say money changes people. No, people are who people are. It's just the money shows you who they really are. So this guy showed you who he really was, without a doubt. Everybody knows now This guy had all the money in the world, had all the opportunity to get away from the things that really put him in prison the first time. But guess what? He's back again. Lesson wasn't learned, but he's going to teach you how to be successful from a jail cell. That is absolutely 100% hilarious. And there probably are a lot of people in prison that can teach you how to be successful, but it ain't going to be the right way. And you're probably going to be their cellmate by doing the things they did to be successful. Running scams, running cons, whatever they could do to beat the system. And then the system caught them. So I don't know, Mr. Wes Watson. I ain't been around long enough to really know your whole story, but what I've watched recently. But man, if I could give you a bit of advice from an old man, which I'm not that old, but from an older gentleman, if I could give you words of advice, be careful who you let in your life. Be careful who you surround yourself with. You need people that's going to stand up and tell you the truth. Don't be one of these people that are so hard-headed that I know it all. People sometimes from a distance can see things that you can't. It's called when you get too close. You're too close to something. Maybe some folks outside of your circle who wasn't just there to blow smoke up your ass could have helped you if you'd have just allowed them, if you'd have just listened. But you didn't. You didn't. You're smarter than everybody else. And now you're in jail. Couldn't control your temper. Maybe that's the steroids. Everybody seems to think, allegedly, you were back on steroids. And it could be. Could be. Never taken steroids in my life, so I don't know what that roid rage thing is, but I've been mad in my life. Add in drinking, brother, makes it worse. So if your old lady's out somewhere showing off these new boobs you just bought her at a basketball game, and you're sitting at the house having a few little drinky drinks, and that temperature just starts boiling a little bit more and a little bit more, usually not going to be a good result. Sometimes it's better just to separate. But anyway, if I can teach all you people something, anything, and I'm not the smartest guy in the world, take yourself out of situations that your gut is telling you is a bad situation. Don't go flaunting everything you have, because if anything happens, somebody's going to come try to take it. So keep to yourself. If you want to do YouTube, bring a positive message and be real positive that you're not being a hypocrite. Because if there's really one thing in my life that drives me absolutely batshit crazy with people, is the ones that are hypocrites. Now, if you done bad, you got to pay the piper. If some of this stuff is just blown up and you didn't really do it, which we know to fight, you should have just fought by yourself, bro. There was no sense in your buddies jumping in, didn't need dumbbells. If you lose a fight, you lose a fight. You get up and shake the hand, and that day you just tell that man he was the better man. And you wouldn't be in prison right now. You wouldn't have to worry about your money. You'd be out still living your life, bro. I mean, people were already laughing at you, so people laughing at you because you got beat up by the 7-foot giant wouldn't mean anything. It really doesn't. I don't know too many people that ain't lost a fight in their life. And I know some really hellacious fighters. My cousins were hellacious fighters. I've seen every one of them get their ass beat at a time or two. No matter what you think, there's always someone better. Unless your name's Bruce Lee, there's always someone better. But anyway, I got to jump off of here. This stuff is disturbing. The more I watch these things, it is just absolutely hilarious to me. It is entertainment. Because when you do wrong to people, there is nothing anyone wants anymore as to see you fall. When it comes out and the stories come out about you scamming people, about the things that you do to people, you come on videos and act like you're just the baddest man on the planet. People aren't going to be pulling for your success. I'm just telling you that now. They will pull for your downfall. But that's my message for today. And I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.